The third and final day of practice for the Ticats on Friday before Sunday's East Division semifinal against the Alouettes. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton. And Steve, what do you expect out of these Ticats in the playoffs?
Well, I expect, Drew, something that I expected the last two games against Montreal and didn't see it. I expect them to come out of the gates. And the last two games against Montreal, they did not. I think if they come out of the gates early against this team, they really have a great chance. But they've got to prove what they feel. They've proved in the final quarters and the final half of the last few games that Guelph's become very definitely a home field for them. Very subtly, the way that's been mounted over the years, and there are an awful lot of factors to it. But you want to see that happen early. I don't think they can afford the kind of starts they've had the last two games against Montreal.
I think turnovers are going to be a big issue here, and
Yeah.
we've written about this a little bit during the week. And I know a lot's been made of Henry's interceptions and his penchant for turning over the ball. I think the bigger issue against Montreal is the fact that if you give Troy Smith a short field, he can take advantage of that.
And that's been the case history of when he's done well so far, and when he's had the longer fields, such as in the second half in Guelph last time, he hasn't been able to do it. They've been able to come on him harder. He doesn't have the check down reads. He probably doesn't get to his third guy as quickly as he needs to. Going back to your turnover thing. One of the reasons I think that Henry gets sacked so much against his team is he doesn't want to throw the ball to them. He doesn't want to. If the pass isn't there, he hasn't been making it. They got to get him more protection. However they do it, whether it's through different systems, and I don't think it can be from having too many series with a second and third quarterback. This is your best player. C.J. Gable is your best player. At least on handling the ball for running, and you have to get the ball in those two guys' hands and make the most of it.
I think this is the healthiest the Ticats have been for some time. I think we're seeing guys like Greg Ellingson take reps in practice. We're seeing guys like Delvin Breaux take reps in practice. Is there some disadvantage to bringing those guys back specifically for the playoffs, or do you think that it's better to have your best 24 guys or your roster of 42 guys on the field at this time of the year?
I think it's a little bit of both, but certainly the latter. I think you got to have your best guys out there. I think they feel strongly enough about both of those guys, even though they're first-year players, that they can come in and perform to the level that they had been before. But you can expect, especially on defense, that Jim Popp is going to have his people go at Breaux right away. I mean, there's no doubt they're going to test him right away. The other thing is that the line, now they have both tackles together, for the first time
in quite some time,
and that's got to help Henry a little bit, as does Ellingson, because there was a comfort level there. Now, whether they still have that after 6-7 weeks, I don't know. But that short little possession pass that used to be Dave Stala's forte and now has fallen to Ellingson, I think that's been missing for him in the last few weeks. That one, oh boy, he's going to be there. I can get it to him. That could be sort of one of the hidden little gems in this game.
One of the last things I want to talk about is the kicking game, because I think it's been an Achilles heel for both these teams, frankly. Yeah. Sean White and Luka Conji have had their struggles this season. I don't think either one of these teams would feel great about this game coming down to a 47-yard field goal with no time left on the clock.
No, and that's 100% true. You kind of wonder that maybe Conji might be sneaking up back to his form. I don't know that for a fact. There hasn't really been a lot of evidence, right? The sample size is pretty small the last couple of games, but you kind of get the feeling that, and they cut the other guy. There's no doubt now that you're not trying out. It's real money time now. He's been in money games before, but then again, so has White. But you're 100% right. I don't think either coach wants this to come down to a field goal of more than about 25 yards on the final minute.
This is the playoffs, and it's the level of intensity and the pressure, it rises, right?
Yeah, you can feel it right now here, can't you?
You can. Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, this is a team that has a lot of rookie players, a lot of guys who have not, played at this level, don't have a lot of playoff experience. Can that be a factor for this team?
I think it can, but I think there's another history at play here. Remembering that the CFL is a hothouse league, that an awful lot changes. You're really not a rookie by the end of the year because so much happens. The season's so long, and there are so many other first-year players in the league as well. I mean, there's a heavy turnover in this league, and I think that the proof right now has been in the pudding. If you look at the Ticats, 9-4 over the last 3 months, of those 4 losses, 3 were wipeouts. Of their wins, most of them were fairly in doubt. That says something, and actually, it's a positive thing that it says. When I forget, one of the players had said to me before, and it was kind of just a throwaway comment. We feel if we're in it, we can win. Well, the numbers bear it out. If they're in it, they win.
You feel good about this team going in the playoffs?
Yeah, but I really always worry about Montreal. 16 years in the playoffs. There's such a thing as franchise memory, franchise DNA, and they have it. But there's also another part of their DNA that they've had some spectacular plays go against them. They've been involved in in the postseason some incredible stuff, both for and against, but mostly against them. And 2 or 3 from this team that they're going to play. When you speak of the Osbaldiston field goal, you speak of the Haggis catch. You think of the overtime drop, in double overtime drop in Big O. In fact, that was the only playoff game this team's won in 12 years.
Yep.
Right. So I think there's going to be a play here we're not going to forget.
Make sure you check out Saturday's Spectator for a full game preview and the Scratching Post blog for all the up-to-the-minute news. Reporting for the Hamilton Spectator with Steve Milton, I'm Drew Edwards.